up? We're live, recording in progress. What's going on, everyone? It's another episode of Cold Ones Conversations. You know the deal, you know the intro, the best show on the internet. We're breaking down from last week's episode. We're going into the draft, we're going into the NBA. We might talk a little MLB. Shout out Cold Ones Conversations. Shout out Philly Drinkers. We're filling up the mug. You know the name. I go by many. Hollywood is what I'll go by today, and I am joined by the filler of the cup. God bless. Brendan the Bod Petrilli. Trilly, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I was talking with our boy Alex from Philly Drinkers. We might get some stuff going again in the works here as we move towards the summer. Because we're always down to having some cold ones out in the sun, just like we're having
Oh
some cold
yeah.
ones here, talking everything in the world of the NFL draft, NBA playoffs, the Fightins, baby. The Fightins, first 1 to 20 wins, man. They own San Diego out there and they spanked that ass. They're
Straight
winners at
up.
7 of 10. They're rocking and rolling. The Fightins are good, man. They're gonna be a good team, and I'm loving
Dude,
it.
I could not agree more. I was watching this morning while at work when I was supposed to be working. I was getting into the morning and I said, you know what? Why don't we watch some O's highlights? And I said, where are the Phils at? And I see that 19 and I see that the O's got a 19. I go, look at our boys. We were talking about them starting off slow, but they're here and they're ready to deal,
They
baby.
turned they
They're
they've
ready to
gone on
rock.
nice stretches consecutively here.
Yep.
Taking some good series, two threes, a couple sweeps. The boys are rocking and rolling over the summer. We're gonna have to get to go into some games. Check out BSP Media for my vlogs over there too. We're also grinding that cornhole pro grind, so make sure you go follow along there on the
Straight up.
TikTok and the YouTube for sure. But all right, Harry, let's get into it.
Do
Talked
it.
about it all last episode. Go back if you sickos want to go through all of our takes, and especially some of mine that maybe not have been so great about the NFL draft, right? And we're gonna dive into a little bit of our surprise picks in the first couple rounds here in the NFL draft, and some of our winners or losers. We'll get into our teams at the end here. But Harry, who was one pick that you were surprised by in the first or second round here in the draft?
So, dude, I think that I'm the quarterback whisperer in the draft. It seems to be 2 years in a row, and you know me. When I get on a hot streak, I call it like a legacy. And I just came up with that phrase. I might make that my new Instagram bio. Um, and that's the truth. And what I mean by that is, dude, Pinnock's going 8, going at that 8 spot. I loved that pick, and I sent it to you. I said it to some boys back home. I said this to some other boys from Susquehanna, and everybody's like, "You're an idiot. How was this a smart pick? How can you justify this? How could you like this? This is idiotic. This is no good. This is horrible. There's nothing good to see here." And where I disagree is look at Green Bay. And I know that that's the one and only example that I can give, but the one and only example that I can give has turned out really damn good in a league where all they do is push these young guys forward and nothing works out. And nothing works out. And you know what the Falcons are saying? We guaranteed Aaron all of this money. Green Bay guaranteed Aaron all this money. We're still going to go out. We're going to prepare for our future. Let this kid sit for 3 years. And what does Jordan Love do? Yeah, his first 8 games, he looked like I was out there throwing the football. And now he's a top NFC quarterback. And Michael Penix, dude, is going to get to sit behind a top or can be a top 10, without a doubt, top 11 NFL quarterback, get to learn the game, understand where he's at, be in arguably the weakest division in all of football. And when he's ready to take the reins, the Falcons have their future. The Falcons haven't had their future since they had Mike Vick in the room. So I love that pick.
I hear all your points. I hear them out decently because they're not going to get in the top 10 again, probably for a
Right.
little bit, right? With
Right.
Kirk. You gave a lot of money to him. A
Yep.
lot of money. And from all of his reactions, it seemed like he was kind of stabbed in the back a little bit. He knew that they would take somebody, but not in the top 10,
Right. Of
you know?
course.
And it's
He
not
felt like
like
Aaron.
well, yeah, you go Aaron Rodgers, you go Brett Favre. Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback, but those two other guys are Hall of Famers that
Yep.
these guys were sitting behind, right?
Yep.
And Jordan Love was sitting behind. If they would have traded back and they would have taken him in the late teens, they recoup, they get maybe a defensive player. I like that pick for them. Taking him top 8, it's a bit much for me. That's a bit much.
Well, the only thing that I'm going to follow up with, and I stood on business, and I said this last
He's
episode,
24 years old too.
and
He sits for 3 years. He's 27. He's had a lot of injuries in college.
I'm going to say it again, though, dude. I think that Michael Penix is going to have the best. He's going to have the best career out of any of the quarterbacks out of this draft. I've
He
said that
definitely has the
before. I'll say
best
it
setup,
again,
I would think, right now
without a doubt. Oh my
with
God. Well,
Bijan,
Caleb,
Pitts, and Drake May.
but Caleb is
Caleb
stepping
did get
into a
set
good
up pretty
team.
well too. No, for
Caleb
sure.
stepping into a really first time he can ever say that about the Bears, by the way. That their quarterback that they drafted is
Yeah,
stepping into a good
I think
situation.
that's why
We'll
like
get
Big
into
Cat
that
and a lot of Bears fans are happy about that.
absolutely, and we'll get into that later in the show. But Penix, dude, I think when you look at his college career, and you're right, it's been riddled with injuries, but it's been riddled with wins as well, dude. Like he is dominated,
Yeah.
and getting to that national championship position, he ran into a brick wall that was, that was Jim Harbaugh. Um, and that was that Michigan defense, and that was that Michigan run game. And he was still fighting for his life, but making it look like it mattered. So I love it. I think it's an incredibly smart pick. Can I give you one more winner before we go to
Well,
losers, or
let
do you
me
want to
let me
give a
ask this
winner?
last question on the Penix
Hit
here.
me. Hit me.
We're sitting in those shoes. Our
Yes.
teams draft a guy at number 8 overall when we got Lamar and Jalen. Say they're older in this point in their career.
Uh-huh.
They're 33, 34
Yeah.
years old, coming off an Achilles, still got big money. Are you like, what the hell's going on here? Or are you like, okay?
No, because the only reason why I am saying no is because there is one franchise in the NFL that is proving everyone else wrong about putting young quarterbacks forward or paying old guys. And they've now done it so consistently well that it's not a fad. It's just a fact. If you get a guy that you identify who's good enough and you put him behind a dude who's a lot better than him at the level that he's getting drafted at, he's probably going to deliver you 10 wins to get into the playoffs once he takes the helm. That is crazy to think about, dude, that you can kind of guarantee. I mean, dude, at the end of the day, now obviously the situation went totally different with what I'm about to say, but the Ravens did do this. I mean, dude, we brought in Lamar
They did
Jackson.
get Lamar. No,
He
you're not wrong.
sits behind Flacco. Now, obviously, Flacco gets benched at the end of the season, but he sat behind Flacco, dude, for 14 weeks, a Super Bowl winning quarterback. So, and then Lamar has gone on now to be one of the most top
That
paid
was pick
quarterbacks of all time.
32 in the first round. Now, granted, first round pick, but not top 10.
And that's fair. And that is fair for
You bring
sure.
in Kirk Cousins selling him, hey, you're going to come here. You're going to be a winner for us. We're going to put all of our resources, our money behind you. And then you go, instead of getting him a defensive option or another weapon, where Roma Dunze was sitting there too, you go and you draft somebody that's not going to see the field probably for 2 years minimum.
Well, you got to
How
wonder
does that sell to him there?
what I
That's
would
where I'm at.
what I would throw back to you is, and maybe it's not that well. Two things that I'm going to sell back to you. You
You
got
think
100.
that Atlanta roster is that good that they didn't need one of these other
I
guys
think
there?
in the I think in the NFC South 1,000%.
All right, the division's a little bit of a
They're
sell.
they're they're practically guaranteeing a playoff spot just by being where they're located.
A little bit.
But the second thing that I'd say to you, dude, is you just got 100 million, and you got 100 million coming off of an injury. You got to pipe down.
All right.
You got to pipe down.
All right.
I mean, now I'm saying that because I like Penix. Kurt can say, "How am I going to deliver on that 100 million?"
Once
With
if Kurt doesn't come back the same, or he gets
right,
he gets delayed setback with the ankle or something, and Penix comes in, he throws a nice ball as a lefty, and everybody's in
you know what I'm
shorts at
saying?
training camp. The videos are gonna come out.
You know what I'm saying?
Him hitting Drake London down the sideline. Everybody's gonna be like, "We need him in there. What are we
Straight up, dog.
doing?"
Straight. That's what happened in Baltimore. We
Yeah,
ran Joe out of town. We
like
ran him out of town.
that's everywhere.
We
That happens
did.
all the time.
Yeah, bro.
All right, what's another surprise pick that you had?
Well, I mean, dude, when we looked through it, right, we knew that Caleb was going at 1. We knew Jaden was going at 2. I think that most people thought that Drake May was going at 3 and Marvin Harris Jr. was going at 4. But then things get dicey. And I think the biggest winner, not team-wise, but individually, is without a doubt, I think we all know what I'm about to say, is JJ McCarthy. because outside of Caleb Williams probably getting the best setup. No, actually, I totally disagree with that. JJ McCarthy is the quarterback that got the best setup in the draft of where he got drafted. He got drafted to a playoff ready roster to an offensive coach with a number one wide receiver on any team in the
And
NFL.
Addison and the tight end too, Hawkinson.
And he's going to a place, dude, where he's automatically going to get appreciation because of the legacy that he's bringing behind of the ball that he played at Michigan. I mean, they went and they took him for a reason. But I think it's crazy that he went 10 overall. Listen, the clip that we just mentioned, right? We talked about
Go
the
follow
12.
the IG
I
Colon
thought
Conversations on Instagram.
exactly.
Make sure you follow. Got to get those
Follow
numbers up. Our boy
straight up.
Kieran, not Kieran Kenny, that we talk about, that I will be bringing up later when we talk a little basketball.
Have
But
to.
our other boy Kieran, he's been making some clips for us. Go hit that follow button over there, of course. But yes, go ahead.
But just the point being, dude, is that we had him, I thought that a lot of these guys would go before 12. You didn't. But did I think that JJ was going to go 10? No, I did not think he was going to go 10. He is set up for such success, dude. But are the Vikings set up for such success? I don't know. And what do I mean by that when I say that? What I mean by that is JJ now, regardless, even if he can't be that breakout star, he's not going to get hurt the way that Drake May's got a chance of getting hurt. He's not going to have to perform at the way that Caleb Williams has got to perform, being the number one overall pick. He's set up in kind of this nice cocoon. But at the same time, dude, you look at the Vikings, dude, you're in a division now where you got Jordan Love nipping at your heels. You got Detroit, who's the clear top dog. And Chicago now is the real deal. Colin Cowherd was talking about it, dude. It's the best offensive division in football right now on paper. And that's without a doubt true. So JJ's got to show up a little bit for the Vikings' sake. But he's a winner here, man.
Yeah, and that kind of goes to my first one, honestly. A lot of love for the Vikings here. A lot of offensive players off the board to start this.
Yep.
All the way to pick 14.
Big time.
Until the Colts got I don't even want to try.
Lotto.
I'm normally pretty good with the
Lotto?
names.
Lotto?
What?
Would
Yeah,
you pronounce it
Latu. Yeah, whatever.
Latu?
I'm usually pretty decent with the names, Halapudi Vadi Vaitai and all these Isaac
Tremendous.
Samali, but I just didn't study his name yet. I'm sorry. I'm sure he might be a good player. Where he was the first defensive guy to go off the board. But the one guy you were seeing everybody mock from Alabama, edge rusher Dallas Turner, he was supposed to be that first guy to go off the board. To probably Atlanta at 8.
Yep.
He got the pedigree at Bama, the talent, the size, the speed, everything was there. For him to go all the way to 17 at Minnesota, I wanted the Eagles to trade up to go get him when he was started to fall and fall and fall. Like, go get me another pass rusher. You just traded away Hassan Reddick. Go get another guy that can fill in those shoes right away almost.
Straight up.
And I think that's a good addition for that team where their defense was a huge problem. Where it was a big success for them a couple years ago, they fell back and regressed a little bit. They needed pass rushers. They went and they got 2 really good guys for this team that can plug and play right away. And I think that's huge. Especially that's why you question picks like Atlanta and a couple, like another surprise pick here that I had in Las Vegas and Brock Bowers. I think he's gonna play, but you got the Notre Dame tight end Myers. Yeah, you got him there. I want to say Michael Myers.
They're stacked through the trenches
but
right
yeah.
now.
Yeah, and then you got the wide receiver Adams out there, but who's throwing the football?
Exactly.
I mean, I love myself some Gardner Minshew, but why didn't you go get O-line? Why didn't you go get another pass rusher to go with Crosby and the likes that you have on that defense and get really nasty on defense? Especially with that head coach that mean and gritty that he kind of built into that team where the Raiders are that they just won't go away. You go and you get another offensive weapon with nobody really to throw the football there. I don't love it. I don't love that pick at all.
Well, and that's why I have them down, dude, as my biggest losers of the draft. Because let's go through this. When you see pick 10 come in and JJ's off the board and Penix is now going 2 before that, and that was clearly who you wanted. Here's my question to you, Trill. Why, when you're sitting at 13, are you not doing everything you can to get the Jets to give you 11? So that you have a shot to get Bo Nix.
Yeah, I mean, they probably liked Bowers more.
And
That's the reason.
and I don't disagree with
But I
that
know
because
I know what you're saying
well,
for
and I
sure.
agree with you that I think that actually Brock
I
Bowers
think Bo Nix stinks if you don't know, if you didn't check out the Instagram reel. Like, so why would you trade up to 11 there to get Bo Nix rather than
because
take a guy that has a lot of high upside and talent
right.
that you would have to just make fit and make work? I'd rather go the best available on your board.
And I
That's
agree
where
with
I
that.
don't hate the pick, where it's
I
probably best
yeah.
available.
I don't hate the pick either, but the difference is at the end of the day, you need somebody who can comparably snap
Yeah.
the ball. Well,
Yeah.
throw the ball.
I'd rather
And
build around and then you get your quarterback, like where you already had a tight end, you already got a couple wide
yeah,
receivers, get some O line, and then you'll get
yep.
that QB that you can then go right in and let's rock and roll.
Can we just say though that the Raiders are dead? Like we haven't even done a preseason game. They're dead. Like they're dead.
They're dead.
They're
Dead.
dead, dude. You
Stamp.
got you
Dead.
got Stamp dead. You've got KC winning the division. You've got
Yeah.
you've got the Broncos
Chargers are getting better
needing to prove something, and the Chargers are definitely getting 10
with the
wins.
head coach. They're getting through the
Yep.
trenches with Joe Alt. They still got to figure out the receiving core a little bit, but with
But
Herbert,
they're
if you
gonna
can
get 10
protect them,
wins.
yeah, you got the defense still.
They
Yeah,
got the
it's tough.
quarterback.
Yeah.
They have a quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
have a quarterback.
Yeah,
So
and then Bo
yeah.
Nix, who knows what will happen out there? And you got Zach Wilson now, a QB battle. Who's going to start? Which frat bro is going to start out
Oh
there? We'll
my
see.
God.
Like it'll be interesting for sure. But yeah, well, maybe we'll have to get Kieran to clip that. Raiders dead. What's
Raiders
today's
dead.
date? May
Stamped.
1st.
Yeah, May 1st stamp dead. Dude, well, what do you think? Like, first of all, what was Zach thinking when he got traded there, bro?
What, Zach?
Yeah, Zach Wilson. What was he thinking when he was going?
I mean, he went to BYU. He's a Mormon culture.
No, but is
Like
he thinking to himself, I got a shot to be the top dog?
I think he was knocked down such a huge peg the last 2 years, the way
Yeah.
that the Jets have handled it. I think he's just thankful that he's still in the league. If I'm
And
him,
maybe that he's out of there. Maybe that he's out of
yeah,
New
he's
York.
out of there. You got a new shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what's his name's guy, Sean Payton's guy that they got at Bo Nix, but you never know.
You never
Maybe
know.
you perform in the off season, preseason games, and then somebody needs a quarterback or something, they
Yep.
flip you somewhere. Maybe he goes to the Raiders.
Maybe
Who
he
knows?
goes to the Raiders.
Like,
And then
and then he's
unstamped.
in
They're not dead.
Vegas. He's in Vegas,
Yep.
partying up with all the moms. Let's go. Come
Oh
on,
my
Zach.
God,
Get
dude.
Zach to Vegas.
Clip that. Get Zach to Vegas. All right. Let's get into the Eagles and Ravens picks.
Yeah.
You go first.
What?
You go first.
All right. Yeah. I mean, my biggest thing is how he's had some good drafts the past 2 years. He's done well, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's gone a lot of Alabama, a lot of Georgia. Now you could say that is yet to really come to fruition with some picks for sure, but I rather keep going with those name guys, those name
Yep.
schools, because you can bank on that talent winning out. It has with a couple players in Carter, but we're still waiting on Jordan Davis. We're waiting on Kobe Dean. Ringo's becoming into a player after his 1 year. But they kind of revert a little bit back to 2017, 2018, Howie Roseman here. I don't hate this pick in Quinyon Mitchell at all, but the way my dad would say it is Toledo, really, yeah, Iowa, really, Baptist Christian, really,
Really?
like it does make you kind of
Yeah.
nervous.
Yeah.
There's
Go for the bigger
talent in
brand.
a lot of other schools. These guys are the best talent available from all the people talking out there,
Yeah.
the talking heads at the cornerback position. And this guy from whatever Christian, he seems like he's a baller, and the defensive coordinator loves him. I'm just a little bit more hesitant to give them an A than a lot of other people are throwing it out there. I like the Trotter pick, but it's a little nostalgia, a little bit where maybe that just doesn't work out. I would love it to work out and it would be electric if it does. Everybody's throwing the axe down on the field, but it gives me a little bit of hesitation. If I were to give this draft for the Eagles, I'd say a B plus. I wouldn't throw an A out there. I just have to see it. Now these guys can go out there and ball out, and I will be happy. I will love every single one of these guys. I still do.
Yep.
It's just that I've seen Howie try to get cute and draft these high talent guys from smaller schools, and he thinks that they're the best guys out there. And they found these diamonds in the rough,
Yep.
and they have bit it in the ass so many times, again after again after again. The likes of Rager and Aguilar, who was okay, but and Brandon Graham for a little bit, but he turned into an absolute stud for us. And
Star.
but then who's the one guy I'm thinking of? God damn it. I had his name. He went to Seattle after he left. I forget his name, but the Danny Watkins of the likes. I like this draft. I think they got a lot of talent, especially in the secondary. I love the pick from Michigan. I love the O
Mm-hmm.
lineman there.
Mm-hmm.
He's a captain for a national champion that can go in there, plug and play if you need him. Nitty gritty, just grinding guy at the guard spot that I think can go and compete for the guard spot. It reminds me of another guy that you drafted a couple years ago who just got the biggest contract of all time for a guard, and Landon Dickerson, who is a captain for a national championship winning team, comes in there and plays almost right away. He sat for a little bit, and in that Stoutland U became into a star. I can see that with this guy too. So we'll have to see. There's a lot of high upside with the Eagles draft. I think it can be huge moving forward. I'm just a little bit hesitant to really go balls to the wall about it.
Well, dude, I mean, the one thing that I would ask is when the Dolphins were on the board and grading and getting that phenomenal pick in Shot Robinson. I mean, what a tremendous pick. Oh my God. But when they're on the board and before they take the pick, were you thinking that you wanted to trade out of the first round entirely and see what you could do with that pick, or did you want to get a player?
No, I was cool with getting a player because there were so many guys on defense
Mm-hmm.
that were there that you could pick any of these guys. I think if it was Arnold from Alabama,
That's what I was about to ask you.
like,
Arnold still being on the board, at the time, that's who you wanted. And that's definitely who your dad wanted.
oh yeah, that's what my dad wanted.
Yeah.
I'm cool with Mitchell because a lot of people wanted to go up to 12 for him, and for him to fall all the way down to 22, it
Straight up.
was
Pretty
huge.
huge.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't hate the value at all. Don't hate the value for what the big boards and all that say. It's just seeing how a lot of guys were falling at bigger names, not even the bigger name schools, but just higher level talent that you've seen compete at a
Yeah.
higher level. The comfortability of that would have been nice to see that again. Last year we were on the live stream for the show. I'm smoking on the Georgia pack. You know what I'm like?
Straight
Like
up.
smoking the stogie after the show. Like I wasn't all gung ho like it was this year. Now these Georgia picks, they still got to pan out. I think they will. I think there's huge talent for this moving forward, but I think Quinyon Mitchell can be an absolute stud. Watching all the highlights and everything else, how diving into the Toledo tape and the Maction. The guy's a big, lengthy dude. He's real physical. He can get it down. That's what we need. We need somebody to lock it down. And then you go and you get another guy in the second round in Cooper DeJean. That's also that athletic type that can be real physical. Hopefully we can get two thumpers out there that can just lay the hammer and not have to worry about, it's 3rd and 10. We're in drop coverage where we're all along the third down marker, and they let the underneath slant, they break a tackle, they get a first down. These guys will come up and they'll just thump you.
Drive it.
You're not
Drive
getting
you.
more. So I think that'll help a little bit. And
And
that's what makes me a little bit more excited with these picks.
And when you look at the Eagles being in the NFC East, who are clearly the outright going forward under, clear favorite stamped, the biggest issue, right, coming off of that 10 win catastrophe that was last year was your defense. And now you're looking to improve that. And I think that, listen, I think that you got to give Howie the benefit of the doubt. What he's been able to do in the past has brought you to, a Super Bowl win and brought you another Super Bowl. It got you Jalen.
You're trusting Howie.
You're trusting Howie. You got to. But I think that I get where your dad's coming from with the bigger brand. But I think that just
the Washingtons, the USC.
There's a lot there. There's a lot there, dude. No, 100%.
Like these
Well,
teams.
dude, that I mean, at the end of the day, you didn't need Xavier Worthy, but dude, that you had a Texas kid still on the board is crazy that he falls to KC.
You paid all this money for these two wide
I know you
receivers.
did, so
So
you're not going to go get another one. My point just being is that the level of talent that was
and
still left in the draft.
yes, I agree. I know what you're saying. You got Anonymous Smith from Texas A&M. You
Right.
got Will Shipley. You still loaded up on that offense a little bit there. So I'm not too worried about the talent. Florida State, Johnny Wilson towards the end of the draft. I'm excited, but to see A's A minuses out there just because of the Howie Roseman name and the
Hmm.
top 10 guys slide down to you,
Hmm.
I'm a little bit hesitant there.
Hesitant.
B
Hesitant.
plus. B plus, B plus, but I'm more willing to wait and see.
All
Love
right.
them.
Well,
The upside's there,
with that, I'm jumping in because I love the
especially if
Ravens
those
pick.
corners don't play. You got Slay and Bradbury. Bradbury
Yeah.
might be out. Maddox. You got all these corners. Ringo. I don't know. I like that these guys can just get rid of them now. Those old heads. So I'm cool with
But
that.
Slay is the only guy that I would say is clearly going to be a dude that you
Yes.
want out on the
Yeah, and
field.
then everybody else is battling for it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Exactly. And you've got now this young buck who's going to stir the pot big time.
both of them.
Um,
And then and then Dejean can play safety,
yep.
slot, corner, whatever. So I
Yep.
like it. I like it. I do like it. But
So I
we'll
love
wait
what the
and see.
Ravens did here in the first round, taking Nate Wiggins. I mean, obviously we were at the 30th pick. Um, not much. You got to see what's left. And a lot of times we've seen that the Ravens have either traded out of this spot or with Lamar Jackson, we traded back in, aka the Eagles, to get into that late part of the draft and get a guy that we want. I love getting a Clemson kid to improve our backfield, something that we obviously had clear strength, right, on our defensive line this year in guys like Clowney, in guys like Ngannou, but not and in guys like Roquan, obviously now Patrick Queen exiting and going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. We had and Van Noy, the list goes on. We could go on and on about the center of the field and the line play. But outside of Hamilton, you'd have times where Geno Stone didn't look like he knew what was going on. You'd have plays get broken up where you could have you could have Kyle Hamilton start the game off against the Browns with the pick six, and then that game in Cleveland when we're dominating goes down to Hail Mary passes and we end up losing because our backfield can't get it together. So I love the pick here. I think this kid's going to play well. I'm wondering if he's going to get to wear two because I've heard that Keaton Mitchell's going to possibly be getting two in the backfield, which would be sick in that running back position. We'll see. So I don't know if Wiggins is going to be holding up the deuce, given that our second string that will not be named is now out of town. But yeah,
Whoa.
dude. I mean, overall, I think the Ravens drafted the best that they could. I love the positions that we got. I think that taking obviously the kid out of Washington, Roger, you knew that we were going to do some sort of offensive tackle. We'd have to. We have to improve that part of our play. I love getting him again playing on a championship roster, playing with Penix. Phenomenal move. I'm also going to be honest. I know nothing about Walker, but clearly there's been a lot of comparison between him and Zay Flowers since the pick. And if we can get halfway as good as we got with picking Zay Flowers, by all means, God bless. Now, obviously, there's a huge difference. Zay Flowers was a first round pick. This kid's a fourth round pick. But point being, dude, we can pair those two guys up, maybe taking up the whole of Odell Beckham Jr. Phenomenal. Let's get after it. And then as we just move through it, obviously we got the kid out of Iowa. I don't know why we took a running back, but I guess we do because we've had so many injuries. We took a running back in the fifth round. That's fine. We've had injury after injury in Alley. But and then we took obviously a QB out of Kentucky. We needed to do that. We only had two quarterbacks. Now we got a full quarterback room again. I think the Ravens drafted well. I think that we're clearly going to win the AFC North. The AFC North is going to be a lot harder to win going forward because it's stacked. You got Burrow coming back. The defense now for Pittsburgh is going to be phenomenal. And they got Russ, which he's going to be looking to do some sort of damage. And Cleveland is the team that, again, I will say is built to beat everyone in the National Football League. It's going to be the hardest division in football. And I think that we're here to win it. And I love the draft.
Last thing for the NFL here before we get the NBA talk. what's one need that the Ravens still need to fill between now and September for you? Or you want me to go while you think on it?
No, I know exactly what it is. More than anything, we need to know that the right guard position is absolutely solidified. Because when you look at how Linderbaum played as well as he played at that center, but then you had guys like Stanley battling injury late in the season. We can't have that. We can't have that when we're going against the dogs that we're going to be going against in the AFC North.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of surprised that we didn't draft more offensive linemen.
Mm-hmm.
If I could change one thing about our draft,
Just
it
to
would be
keep
that
loading up.
I would have rather keep loading up
Yeah, and
and
just
and
see
cut
who
them if we
makes it
don't need them,
work.
but see who makes it work because that would be my only argument for what the Ravens might have had struggles with this past year. We number one team in the NFL record wise, number one team in the AFC, number winning the AFC North, hosting the AFC Championship, but that offensive tackle positions, both on left and right, we suffered injuries. And I'm surprised that we didn't go get one more guy, but we'll see how it plays out. Maybe we pick up somebody in free agency.
Yeah. My biggest need, I think it's still the biggest need. You went and you got Jeremiah Trotter Jr., but that was the only linebacker you got. You got Nakobe Dean, you're banking on a lot to be that lead guy. He played meh when he was in there before he got hurt again for you. You brought in from Tampa Bay. I'm drawing a blank on his name. Shoot. Devin White. You bring him in. He's very high upside, can be
Yep.
inconsistent, can be banged up. But I like
Yep.
that there. He brought in a couple other lower level guys, but that linebacker room's still thin.
Barry.
I would like to go get some more depth guys there. They don't even need to be studs. Keep going, build that position up a lot, and maybe even a pass rusher. I love the D tackles, but you get rid of Hassan Reddick. That's big holes to fill. You go and you sign Bryce Huff to get rid of Reddick, try to get younger, a little bit cheaper, but that's still yet to be seen. You need Nolan Smith to really take that next level this year here. If he can do that, I really like this defense. But I think the only real need for the Eagles right now is linebacker.
Is
O
linebacker.
line, I'm chilling. I think
Yeah.
you got a good replacement in Cam Jurgens at
100%.
center.
Yeah.
You got Steen and you got this new guy from Michigan battling out for that guard spot. You got
Yep.
best guard at left guard. You got the one of the best tackles in Mailata and Dickerson on the left
Yep.
side. You got Lane Johnson, one of
Yep.
the best right tackles in the league, maybe in the history of the league. And then you figure out the right guard spot. You got plenty of options. You bring in Mekhi Becton, a former first round pick from the Jets in the Stoutland U, to kind of figure it out to be that backup tackle
Mhm.
position to see what happens there. Quarterback, you're good. And then you even got a couple backups there now with Kenny Pick.
And your
And
receiving core is out of
the
control, and your
receiving core
running
is
back.
loaded up. They're
Yeah.
paid. They're ready to eat. Dallas Goddard, you might need another tight end.
Yep.
You got Uzama as your backup right now that you brought in, but you could that's still to be a bit desired, but I'm not too worried about with all those other weapons. Running back room, you're chilling. You let Boston Scott leave. The Giant Slayer. Sorry, Boston, we love you, but it was
He'll
time.
always get love in the city. He'll
Oh
always
yeah,
get
you'll
love.
always get love. Always.
Yeah.
And
Just
then
like
yeah, the rest of the
Dobbins.
defense. I mean, the secondary is pretty much patched up that you hope with putting these first two picks out there to fill those holes. So yeah, you bring Gardner Johnson back. Solid offseason. Go get another linebacker to solidify it even more. We're
Have a
Super
day.
Bowl. Super Bowl.
Dude, listen, it sounded like a Ravens Eagles Super Bowl again. We're calling it how we see it, Doug. It's Bird v. Bird. We've been saying it
Where's the
now. It's
Super
going
Bowl
on
at
three
this year? Are
years.
we buying tickets already?
If it's close enough, we're going.
Super Bowl, what year
If
are
it's
we?
no further than Florida, let's do it.
Super Bowl 20. No, not 24. Come on.
25.
25. It is in Inglewood, California,
That's
baby.
a
Los
no-go.
Angeles Rams.
That's a no-go.
Yeah,
That's
we're not
gonna
going.
actually that stadium would be crazy.
Didn't they just have one a couple years ago? Um,
No. Yes, they did.
yeah,
Wait, when they played the Bengals, where was that?
yeah. I'm
That
pretty
was
sure that was.
there.
Oh, what the hell? New Orleans. New Orleans is next year.
New Orleans is next year. Okay.
Oh, 2027 is back at the Rams.
2027. Got it. Got it. Got it.
Sorry.
New
That's why
Orleans,
we
that's where
fact check.
The
That's
Ravens
why
won the second chip.
that's why we fact check.
Straight up,
New
dog.
Orleans, we can make that work.
Yeah, that'll be cheap enough.
Yeah. All right, let's hit a quick break here. We'll get into some NBA talk. The Sixers aren't dead yet. I might talk myself into it.
It's gonna
I don't
be
know.
bad.
All right, we're back. We're back. We're
Yo,
better than
fast.
ever. Make sure you go and hit that subscribe button, like it, comment, see, and tell us what you think about our draft picks. Tell us if you like your draft pick. What was your favorite? Who are your winners and losers? Leave it below. Go follow the Instagram, the TikTok, all of it. Let's get after it. Now, as Harry said before we click that record button, it's a kill fest,
The
is
kill
what it
fest.
is.
Kill fest.
Well, maybe not yet. The first team we get into here is getting pretty close. And in the NBA, some teams are knocked out already, but the one team that's still fighting, they draw you in and give you hope every single time just to roll over and a goose egg. And it's the Philadelphia 76ers are still alive. Game 6 is tonight. It's it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough at the Wells Fargo Center if this doesn't go well.
Straight up, dog, especially because you've been keeping the energy alive. Like you're making the city think you got a chance, a heartbeat, a
They're in every
pulse.
game.
They
They're
are.
in every game, and
They
they
are.
screw it up just a little bit enough where they've lost these games. They should have swept them. They should have. Like their talent wise is so much better than the New York Knicks. Talent wins in the NBA, except when the team has no heart. Now the
There
Sixers
you go.
showed heart
But tell
in
you,
this last game. Tyrese Maxey put the city on his back. He put Joel Embiid on his back. And he said, let's go, fellas. We're going to game 6 in Madison Square Garden in front of all those phony fraud people up there sitting in free seats, which we'll get to in a minute with Philadelphia. But they're giving celebrities free seats out there to flip off Tyrese Maxey, those scumbags. Tyrese Maxey's a king. He's the greatest kid on earth, and he's a baller. He's a winner. And I want to talk myself into the Sixers winning this in 7 so bad, but I'm going to keep trying to keep myself leveled to save
yep,
myself, to
straight
save
up, dog.
myself from the pain and depression that it will put me in when the game is over, probably at 1, 2 a.m. in the morning tomorrow, because they want to put the Sixers on at 9 p.m. on a Thursday night. Don't get that at all. And just so I don't go to bed just absolutely fuming, I think the Sixers are going to lose tomorrow. I hope they don't lose tomorrow. I hope Joel Embiid bounces back and he drops another 50-point game and says, suck it. It's not cool when he does it, but when Anthony Edwards does it, everybody loves it. Joel Embiid was doing it first, and he goes out there and says, suck it. We're going back to MSG. We're taking this home, but I'm going to try to.
Dude,
What?
Joel has got to play, dog, like he is trying to win a game show. Like, dude, he's got to go for it, bro. I don't even know how to describe it,
Double
bro.
or nothing. Like he's not
Double or
taking the
nothing.
banker's choice. You
No,
know,
this is
he's
deal or no
saying, he
deal.
says no deal, and he's
Yes.
going for that $1 million
And he's
case.
going for it, dude.
Yeah,
He's on Howie's show. He's on Howie's podcast. He ain't walking out like Dana White did, and he's going for it, dog. Like he
he's
just
got
got
him.
to own it. It won't, because if he does it, the city might literally try to kill him.
Yeah,
Number
my
one,
biggest thing with that is, what do you want him to do?
right?
My biggest thing, I was really mad at him. He's had some very questionable quotes the last couple games. Very questionable quotes.
He's been talking like what's his name from Denver, Jokic.
Yeah, a little bit. I don't know.
Odd.
Yeah, and his body language isn't great, but he's out there on one leg. He came back from a meniscus injury to battle through this for the city to win for himself. He's got Bell's palsy. Shout out, brother. You know, I had Bell's palsy back in the day. Me and Joel, you know, the meme shaking hands. You know, my whole left side of my face was numb too. It didn't make me a better player, but I'm glad it's making him a better player. The guy's out there battling for us. It's just he keeps coming up small in the fourth quarter. And
Yeah.
that's what drives me nuts. He had so many turnovers in that game. He had a quadruple double. He had a triple double, a quadruple double if you count turnovers with it, which is insane. But the guy, if Jokic puts up that stat line, whatever, 19, 10, and 10, everybody's like, oh, Jokic did such a great job, this and that. But because Embiid had all these turnovers and TNT and all these national broadcasts are playing all the hit pieces out there on Joel that he's stomping on people's faces, smacking them, this and that, which is a bunch of baloney. Why is Joel Embiid the new favorite guy to hate in the NBA? Why? You tell me, Harry. I feel like everybody wants it out for Joel. When Joel is the nicest, sweetest guy who goes out there and balls. He is the American dream. He came over here 180, skinny as can be, put on that American weight with the McDonald's and the Shirley Temples, and he won a damn MVP. He's a winner, and well, not a winner yet, but
Not
he's
yet.
making his way to being a winner, hopefully. But it's gonna hurt when they lose tomorrow. A
He's
lot.
part of the
And
American
then he's
dream,
gonna
dog.
get killed, and everybody's gonna want him gone. And why? Why would you want him gone? For what? To go back to Jakar Sampson and Isaiah Cannonball and all these other scrubs and watch them play basketball with Tyrese Maxey? No, I say no. We keep going with Joel. Joel's the man. I love you, Joel.
Joel's got
But
to hold it down, bro.
step up, please.
That's the thing.
Please.
Joel's got, but the only way that you guys win is that Joel has to make everyone else better, and for him to make everyone else better, he's got to play at that MVP level.
I
He's got to
agree. He
play.
needs these guys to step up. He needs Tobias Harris to get his head out of his ass. He did
Yeah,
last game. So I applaud
Tobias
you,
is
Tobias. But you need Oubre to keep playing well. You need Batum. You need Buddy Hield, who hasn't played a minute the last two games. He was the big acquisition. It's just
it's hard. It's hard when the big man doesn't set the standard because then everybody else follows. That's the
yeah,
thing.
but he
The
does.
same
But
way as the
nobody
LeBron
else has
effect,
gotten
bro.
his back though. The first two games, 3 games, he was carrying them. But yeah, I don't know. It's tough.
It's tough, dog. What's even
Am I
tougher,
crazy
man?
for any of my thoughts there?
No, not at all. I mean, you sound like you're his lawyer, like his personal, like you sound like you're his PR team, dog. I mean, listen, bro, you're going into hostile territory. The Knicks, for the first time, not only are they good, they know how to play basketball, and they're good. Like they haven't known how to play basketball when you look at their last decade of players. Like they didn't know how to be on the court. They played like me. Like I only dribble right hand. Like they didn't know what to do. And yeah, dude, they've been coming with that intensity, but you guys have shown that you're still alive, that you got the talent to win this series. The question is, can you close? I think that you can, but again, the only way it happens is Joel has to go out there like he's gonna die if he doesn't win. He's gotta get hard fouled every other minute in the paint, go to that line and strike the two every time. He's got to drop threes from the bank like nobody can stop him. And then everybody else has got to be like, let me do 50% of that. If they can do 50% of that, he's getting hard fouled the whole time. He's going to the line. He's making his free throws. He's making his mid-range game. He's bullying any single person that the Knicks put on him. He's bullying them. It's game over. Fills up 3-3.
I hope, man.
But if he can't do that, if he can't go to the line, if he can't get Kelly to play, if he can't get Tobias to play, and if Maxey, who seems to be there, but you got to wonder, did he leave it all out on the court this past game?
Nah, Maxey's the man too.
He
You
is the
watch
man.
that game.
He's crazy good.
The way his biggest knock coming out of Kentucky was he's not a great shooter. You watched that last night.
Yeah, he is.
He's almost Steph Curry like pulling up from the logo for the tie.
Crazy. It's so crazy, but I heard you. Yeah.
Tyrese is the man. He smiles. The way he was giving you that energy too, he was just like, I got this. He told you, I got you, big fella. We need other guys to be like, I got you, big fella, and get this win tonight. Get the win. And then
Is
we
Maxey
can
under a big
die in
contract?
pain. I want one good win. Give me a blowout. just so my heart gets
Yeah.
hurt in Game 7. Or I rub it in all those trash ass New York people. I like the Kennys, but I don't know.
If
I
you were
don't
gonna lose, which game would you rather lose in?
Probably Game 6. But it's at
Yeah,
home, especially if the Knicks fans show up like they have been. It was gross. It was
I
gross.
th-
I was there for the first home game, and from the get go, they went introductions. It was the three Nova guys out the gate, and it was, "Boo, yeah." I'm like, what the like, because it's just introductions. You're just like, but you were like, holy crap.
yeah, it's loud, dog.
It was like,
Travel
whoa.
well. They travel well now, dude. They're getting
They did well, yeah. It's a
they
lot
took those
cheaper down
stimulus
here,
checks.
but
They put those
it
stimulus checks in Robinhood. They've been
yeah.
using the market to their favor. S&P 500's up, and
They
those New
save their
Yorkers are
money
coming
because they give
down.
out all the free tickets up there for all their celebrities, but it is. But well, you see what the Sixers did to try to combat that, which is a shame on the Sixers because this is a PR move that they're trying to get in the good graces. I'm happy that they're doing it, but the reason that happened, the takeover happened, is because the Sixers put all these tickets out on Ticketmaster before they could give any Sixers fans first dibs on it. Normally, the way that the Philly sports have been
Yeah,
doing it is they do a
yeah.
raffle or whatever, and then you get Philly fans get first dibs, and then whatever else is left goes out. They put thousands of tickets out on Ticketmaster right away. Knicks fans, good for them. They went and they bought them. Sixers fans could have did it too, but that's not how it goes. And the Sixers people wanted the money, they wanted the greed, and they got it. And now all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, the ownership group paid for 2,000 tickets to give to first responders and police and medical staff and all this so they can go to the game. And they want a little pat on the back like they're doing a good thing. Screw you. The ownership is the reason why everybody hates this team. You
Yeah.
look at the Eagles, you look at the Phillies. The ownership groups are all in. They want to win. They tell you every single year. Josh Harris is down in Washington, D.C., sucking on whatever the quarterback's name is now, little wee wee Penix. Like that's what he was doing. And he was letting the Knicks fans come into his building while he was raking in the do-re mi so he could pay his new quarterback. That's what he was doing.
Wait a
They don't give a
second.
crap about this team. Sell it.
Ricky what? The dough baby? That's crazy.
Screw this ownership group. They
Yeah.
suck.
They do, dude. I mean,
But the Sixers are going to win tomorrow or today.
you're not even gonna
Maybe.
be in the Wells Fargo anymore, bro.
Well, they want to move it.
I
They
know
want to
they
move to
do.
Chinatown.
I know. They want to get out. What happens to that stadium? Because then
The
it's just the
Flyers still play
Flyers.
there.
Yeah, but the Flyers aren't selling out the place to pay the bills. It's the Sixers that do.
When they were good this year, they were. When the
But
Flyers are good, people show.
people show up. People
Yeah.
show.
People want playoff hockey again. And that's why it hurt so much that they collapsed like that this year. But that's just a Philly thing.
Yeah.
A Philly thing.
We got to move. We got to move on because we got to talk about an even bigger collapse, and that is the Suns having Devin Booker, having Kevin Durant, and I can't even go into the third option. I can't even speak his name. I can't do it. I can't talk about how we got swept. How we got swept. How we had the guy who won, was it 2 or 3? 2 rings with the Warriors. With Devin Booker, who's arguably the most prolific shooter in the West outside of Luka Doncic. And what did we do? We died on the vine. We died on the vine. We showed no heart.
They rolled over. And
The entire season, we showed no heart, by the way. The entire season, we showed no heart. No heart at all. And why would people be surprised? Why would people be surprised that this would happen to us? I mean, look at the way that we played. I don't even know how to go into it, bro. I think that what's crazy is what is the impact of this? The impact of it is this team will not be here anymore. This team that got together when we got Kevin Durant, you and I were on this podcast, and I said the Suns will be in an NBA final because of this move. And I said, we'll be in at least two and we'll win one. This is going back like a year and a couple months. And then we decide to add pieces that don't need to be added. We don't go and get healthy depth, healthy young depth that can give countless minutes, to give Booker rest, to give KD rest. And instead, we think
Oh
that
my
we can
God.
win with a big three.
Oh my God. I was gonna say, I was thinking of their roster. I'm like, I can't even think of the only guy I could think of before, on their roster other than those three was Duke.
Yeah.
What's his name? Shoot, I can't even. Grayson Allen.
Yep.
Other than that, I'm like, and then I looked up their roster. I'm like, oh my God, yeah, no wonder why. I mean, Eric Gordon, but he's old as heck. Eubanks, I mean,
It's
meh.
brutal.
Bowl,
It's brutal, dude. And the significance of
Nurkic.
Beal is no one wants Beal. Like no one's gonna get like if we went to
Oh,
move
Thad
Beal,
Young though. Thad Young.
no one's gonna be like, oh well, let me give you a first round pick for Beal. Let me give you a player for Beal as well. Like that's not
No,
happening.
nobody's taking him.
No one's taking Beal. And really the only person that anybody should be really thinking about taking is Booker.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say to you.
And you can't get rid of Booker because Booker is the lifeblood of this team. You drafted him, you gave him the max, you know who he is. I think the difference is that you need a guy that can put Kevin Durant in his place. And at the end of the day, Booker is not better than KD yet. So he can't. But KD can't stay healthy and KD doesn't want to command. KD is not a leader of men. He's not a LeBron. He's just a basketball player who is ridiculously amazing. But he is not a leader.
He's an assassin.
And
He's an easy
he's
money
an
sniper.
assassin.
He
Straight up.
goes, he balls, and he gets out.
And we've died. We've died on the vine. And I think that what is just crazy is last week we were talking about what is a bigger downfall, Brooklyn or the Suns. And I still hold that it's Brooklyn. But the only difference is that the Suns had a history within the last 5 years of being in an NBA championship. Brooklyn never did. And that we couldn't take that and repeat it with even better talent is mind-boggling. And I just don't get it, man. I think it's trash. I think we're in such a position that everyone is going to want out, and Booker's going to want to stay, and Booker's probably going to get dealt. And then KD will leave, and then we're going to be like OKC was for the last 7 years until they are now.
And I think that's why they're in a worse spot than what Brooklyn was in.
Yes,
Because Brooklyn was able to get stuff
get a lot of stuff.
for Harden. They were able to get stuff for Kyrie. They were able to get stuff
Yes,
for KD.
yep.
They were able to build. The only KD, I mean, KD might be able to get you some stuff, but I don't
Not
know.
like Booker can.
No. And if you're not going to move on from Booker, you're not going to get a lot of anything.
That's right.
So it's going to be interesting for
It's
that.
brutal, man. It's
Do
brutal
you still
because
want the Suns hat I got at Mitchell and Ness for you, or should I just try
I'll
to
wear
sell
it.
it on eBay? If anybody out there, I'll sell it to you. $25. I'll give you a good deal. It's a nice hat.
If we had LeBron, it'd all be different, dog.
Well, let's get into that. And
Let's
I
get into
think if the
Bron.
real possibility is coming to Philadelphia,
Okay. First of
Ronnie's
all,
going to Nova in
oh
the
my God,
transfer portal,
that would be crazy if he goes in. Well, let's get one
and
thing
then
clear.
LeBron comes to Philly.
LeBron is deciding where his son's going to college. But let's also make it
Did
clear
he
that
say that he wanted him to go to USC?
he did want him to go to. No. He didn't.
He
He didn't
probably wanted
say
him to
that.
go to Duke, but Duke said no.
No, Duke did say no. He
Yeah,
wasn't good enough to play for Duke.
yeah.
And I also want to say this. I fully believe that LeBron is going to stay in the league long enough to play with his other son because of how well he's playing.
Oh, Bryce.
Bryce is going into his sophomore year of high school, so he needs another
Hey, Bryce can come to LaSalle College High
three
School.
years. He needs 3 years
We're only
left.
20, 30 minutes from Wells Fargo.
What if he becomes a Temple kid?
Temple would be sick.
Temple would
Get
be
the
crazy.
city going again.
He's got the brains on him, maybe a UPenn kid. But the point is,
Maybe.
no potential there though for
Drexel's
sports
been the
wise.
best basketball team.
Yeah, or Nova. Point is though, I think he could play with both of his
Nova
sons.
sucked this year.
I think he could play with both of his sons. Does he want to stay in the league that long? I don't know, but he absolutely can. With the way that he played this year, he absolutely can. If he goes to a team where there's a guy who's better than him, he ridiculously can. LeBron was asked directly, was this your last game as a Laker? And he said, I'm not going to answer that. Now, he's clearly doing that just to troll people. But I also think at the end of the day, bro, you've got to ask yourself, if you're Bron, he's been kind of scripting it now. What else is left? What else is left that I have to prove? It's just basketball. What's left to prove, dude, is all you still have to do. You've made your money. You have $1 billion check from Nike alone. You have rings. You have the #1 scoring title. But what you don't have is as many rings as Jordan. You don't even have as many rings as Kobe.
He's
Now,
got a
I think
playing game.
I think you're better than, yeah, exactly. And I think you're better
He's
than
got an
both
in-season tournament ring.
straight up. And I think you're better than both of them. But bro, you've got to go somewhere with this lifeblood that you clearly still have. You got to show that you can still not show, you have shown it. You got to go somewhere that can help deliver you a championship. And that's the truth. And the Lakers just aren't it. They're just not it. But
What's an actual possibility then? I want to throw the Sixers out there, but I mean that's a pipe dream.
the
But
best
that can
possibility,
afford him, that can build around him, that has talent already there.
Cleveland. That's it.
If what Mitchell stays, or
That's if Mitchell stays specifically. If Mitchell stays, because here's the difference of what I would say. Brand wise, what makes the most sense is for him to go to the Knicks. But and that's what I want. But I would argue that the Knicks is just the same as the Lakers because there's not somebody there who's better than him.
yeah, Brunson's
Mitchell
pretty
can
damn
play.
good.
Brunson is good, but he's a 3 to LeBron.
Yeah, he's a 2 to LeBron. He's
But
pretty damn good.
but you want somebody that makes Brunson the 3 and that makes LeBron the 2. That's the thing for you to win.
I got what you're saying. I don't know.
And Mitchell does that in Cleveland. Mitchell makes Bron the 2. If he's there.
Maybe.
Cleveland's got great depth. They've got young stars. They could do it, man. Now, but I think
Imagine seeing Anthony Edwards and LeBron playing together.
That would be crazy.
But LeBron's not going to Minnesota.
He's not going to Minnesota, though.
Yeah,
Right.
like,
no, that's stupid. That's so stupid. I have heard a theory that like if Golden State drafted Bronny, that he would go, and I could see it. But I don't think that he would do it because he saw what it did to KD. We talked about this on the show before. That would ruin LeBron's legacy.
because of the back and forth that they had for years, I guess.
Well, the back and forth and just the clearness that you couldn't do it. Like Jordan could do it on his own. Jordan could do it with
LeBron
Pippen.
did it on his own.
No,
well,
but
on his own.
But my point is that Jordan did it multiple times on his own with one guy. If you had to go to the Warriors to get your 5 and 6, that's almost as bad as what KD did. Like it's up there.
Maybe.
So where I move with it is that, when you look at it, what are the real possibilities? The real possibilities are New York, Cleveland, Miami, and Dallas. Those are the only 4 that can afford him, that have guys that are better than him. Well, not New York. That have guys that are better than him and can build around him. Now, dude, the one thing that I will say is Dallas would be a no-brainer. Big brand, great city, great ownership, phenomenal stars. Luka, 5. Kyrie, 6. I mean, you've got it. You've got it going. So, I mean, I don't think he's going back to South Beach. I don't think it works out there. And I don't think it works out for Cleveland. So at the end of the day, I think it's between the Knicks and Dallas. That's me. Lakers are dead. Lakers are dead.
Lakers are dead. Raiders are dead. Who else is dead? Dallas is dead. I didn't
Dallas
talk about
is
them.
Dead.
Who else is dead? Let's keep it rolling. Sixers maybe dead. We'll see.
Sixers may be dead. Who MLB wise is dead?
Oh, the Marlins dead.
Marlins are dead.
The A's dead.
Dead. And they were hitting. They were hitting.
Yeah, they've been playing decent. They've been playing decent.
They broke up a few of my parlays.
Yeah. But yeah, the Day of the Dead,
The day of the
probably
day.
today. Subscribe, like, comment. Let us know your favorite draft picks, what you think, how you think the Birds did. Give us
Yep.
grades for each team. Follow us Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that jazz. Cornhole Day 10 coming out tomorrow. New bags, by the way. Shout out 215. Go Birds.
Go Raven.